G'day guys, this is Omega back with another video. I wasn't going to rein in on the London attacks. It's got a lot of coverage, but I feel that I should, considering I've been put into an international news story because I tweeted Pauline Hanson after the attack, just after the attack, and said, "You tell them, Pauline." And there was a few other tweeters there. Australian Politics is another guy. I tweet a lot on Twitter. After the attack, she tweeted out this tweet and said, London terror alert, run, hide, tell, which is great advice, but then said, stop Islamic immigration before, Australia hits 5% like England. And she's pointing out a very real fact here, and that is in the midst of the largest, migration of human beings on earth in human history, which is actually what is happening in Syria, coming out of Syria, where we're seeing, a raft of terror attacks happening in England, and at the moment it's on a weekly basis, and they're only 5%. I mean, that is a worrying statistic, and I don't think she's out of order at all posting something like that up at all. And of course, you've got all these people on Twitter who hate Pauline Hanson and hate Donald Trump and make livings out of defaming them every single day. The validity of this story, outrage or disgusting tweets on London attacks, it holds no water at all, because these people will say anything, they will use anything, they'll come up with any line in any situation to try and defame these people. One guy said they're politicizing a tragedy within hours of it happening. That's low even for you. Now, it doesn't matter if it was a terrorist attack. It doesn't matter if Pauline Hanson tweeted this another time. This guy would still pipe up and say something. And then you got Ash London, your celebrity, who lives in a little safe space, and she's protected by this little PC bubble. I mean, she's not putting herself out there like Imam Tawhidi or any of these other people. She's not putting her family out there like Donald Trump or Pauline Hanson. And how sad it must be in your closed, scared little world, Pauline Hanson. All I've got to say to Ash London is how sad it must be to be a coward and say nothing in the face of such evil, Ash. You come out and virtue signal, but you've got absolutely nothing to say about the oppression, for example, women are enduring in Saudi Arabia. You've got nothing to say, have you? But here you are coming out, virtue signaling, trying to make yourself look like some sort of white knight for all your adoring fans, which are about zero, I think. So no one really cares about that. Tawhidi has reined in on this whole situation. And it's great, he's out there, and this is a guy who is really risking his life, who's really putting himself out there. Terrorism in the UK is growing week after week. Having extremists within our societies is not multiculturalism, it's suicide. And he's talking about extremists here, and he's absolutely 100% correct. But that won't stop the left not seeing the word terrorism or extremists. All they can see is the word Muslim, because they're just, programmed that way. But he's come out and he's supported Pauline Hanson in her calls for an Islamic ban, as far as travel goes, or a Muslim ban, until we can get proper vetting in place, until these sorts of attacks are under control. And let's not forget, We've only just averted major terrorist attacks in Australia, and all four the last terrorist attacks, Islamic terrorist attacks, have all been immigrants. Every single one. As I covered this before, the chief of ASIO is just lying. He's towing the line. He's towing the government line. He's been told what to do. Now, interesting enough, the UK papers that are covering Tawhidi's commentary on this are actually putting up pictures of him with the Shia leadership, just so they're not having to argue his validity as an imam. And shame on the ABC. It's about time the ABC made an apology, to be quite frank. To make an apology, Media Watch siding with the Sunni community for no other reason than, it's probably coming from the top. I wouldn't be surprised if there are elements within the government. Look, if the chief of ASIO is going to come out and lie to everyone, and everyone knows he's lying, he's being told to do it, isn't he? And I think there's government pressure on the ABC, for example, to, sort of attack Tawhidi. And if you look at the ABC, that's all they've done. They've just attacked the guy. And at the very least, like I've said this before, at the very least, he is a Muslim. I believe he's a full-blown imam. Obviously, the picture is with the Ayatollah of his faith. I mean, what more do you want? I've seen pictures of him with his hands on his head blessing him. I really think the ABC needs to, come out with a full-blown apology. They disgust me. They disgust me. They're supposed to be a media outlet, and all they've done is a lie to the Australian people and to the world. With this whole fake shake, nonsense. And that's why, the open-minded production, our partner channel, made You Can't Shake the Shake videos. It's a bit of a hit back at the ABC. Now, Theresa May has come out and she's done her little speech and she says enough's enough, and we have to, she said we have to stop the spaces in which, these people thrive, and then she goes straight to the internet. Now, there are a few issues surrounding this. Are these people going to censor the internet? And if they are going to censor the internet, to what degree? Now, we all agree that extremist ideology should not be allowed to flow freely on the internet. It needs to be shut down. It needs to be deleted. The people who are spreading it and the people who own it or have downloaded it, are found with files and files of terrorist extremist propaganda in their computers, need to be prosecuted, and not just a little, but heavily. And like I've said this before, I think that if people are caught after committing a terrorist attack and they're alive, they should be put to death. And I think that it's not too far out there to say, if you've got guys who, are caught with bombs and caught with all this stuff and are going to carry out an attack and they have been thwarted, should be the death penalty. Anyone who's caught with propaganda should be deported immediately if they are from another country or an immigrant. And like I said, hefty penalties, long jail terms for those who are citizens caught with the same stuff. My sincere, heartfelt prayers go out to the families in London, and I really want to see something happen here. Good on you, Tawhidi, for getting out there again. You've got all of our support, mate. You're doing a great job. And just got to keep fighting the good fight, people. If you want to support the channel, just hit the PayPal link on the banner on PC, and any donations would be appreciated at this point, as I've now I'm demonetizing all of my videos. I'm not even going to monetize them as of about 3 or 4 videos ago, because they just get mandatorily demonetized by YouTube anyway, as too sensitive. So support the channel, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be back soon with another video. Cheers.